Hi, I'm Teresa, the London Organic Gardener. Oh no, I'm not. Hi, I'm Teresa, the London Organic Grower. I hope you're going to enjoy today's vlog, planting garlic, onions and autumn crops, clearing up and doing a few jobs. Well, you win some and you lose some. This was my prize carrot bed for the winter, and the rodents have been in, dug up the whole lot and had a feast. So no autumn carrots for us. I think we've got one box that's still got some carrots in, I hope. I think I'll lift those now and store them at home. Oh dear. Anyway, as I said, you win some and you lose some. This will be the third picking I've had from the first 2 rows of lettuces, which are absolutely looking gorgeous. I haven't picked off the third row of these lettuces as they are cos lettuces, and I want them to bulk up just a little bit more, but certainly if there was a frost coming I would come and pick them. So I'm going to pick for the third time these lettuces now and cover them up with this, it's not exactly fleece, but it gives it some protection from the wind. The coriander, let me see if I can uncover the coriander. The coriander that I planted is doing really well too, and the spring onions. So this is doing, the radishes maybe not quite so well, but all being well we get something from it. But I'm very pleased with this crop of lettuces. I'm putting some beetroot into store. When we cleared some of the beds, there was a lot of beetroot left over. Well, I didn't put them straight into store, and some of these are a tiny bit soft. I mean, they're usable, but I wouldn't want to store them. And then we have a basket of lots of small ones which I don't want to put into store either, so I'm going to take those home and cook them, and we'll eat some and we'll give some to neighbours. But in this box here, which I should have showed you earlier, I put a layer of wood chip and then gave it a little bit of a water, just a very light water. You want it damp but not wet, just a little tiny drop, and then layered it with the beetroot. You can see them here, so that they don't touch. So just layer them in there, and then I put another layer of wood chip on top of that. Just moisten that a bit with some water, and then put this last layer on. Don't have quite enough for a full box, but I'm going to be digging some more up, so there's a little bit more space. And then this will go into the shed. So it's all dampened down. I've given the top layer a little bit of water as well, so that that's damp. And then I shall put it in the shed. I'm afraid our shed's a little bit messy. I should put it under there so I can get to it easily. And that, I did that last year and they kept really well, so I'm hoping this year they'll do the same, and we'll take them out as the winter goes on, until we get the next crop next year, until we've eaten them all. So that's how I preserve or store some of my roots. I've got a bucket here of the wood chip, so that I don't have to empty the shed out to get to this big bale of wood chip that I bought online. I hadn't quite appreciated how much wood chip there is in one of these bags. I think it's called a bale, but I'm not sure, but it's horse bedding. It's very cheap on the internet or in a shop, and I think that this will probably last me at least 5-8 years. Yes, well, and when we empty it, I do put this onto the compost to rot down, preferably just as I'm starting a new one, because it will take quite a while to rot down. There they are in the shed, so they're easy access for me to get to through the year. Our rhubarb has died down. It's nearly all gone. I'll leave the leaves on until they drop off, because it helps to put the energy back down into the roots. I've given this some blood, hoof and horn, and I've raked it in a little bit and put a couple of bags of cow manure down. I put cow manure down just because that's what I had. It would have been horse manure if I had that, but it needs another couple of bags, so next time I'm at the garden centre I'll pick up another couple of bags to finish it off. And we've weeded along the front here just to make it nice and neat and tidy, and getting ready for next year now, tidying things up and putting things away. We took on this plot about 3 years ago. It used to have beautiful rhubarb from this patch when the previous owner had it, but in between her leaving it and us taking it on, many people attacked the poor old rhubarb, took stuff from it, so it's been suffering the last few years. This year it picked up a little bit, and I'm hoping that next year we'll get a really good crop. So we've been just leaving it to do its own thing, and I think it's recovering. I don't know what variety it is, but my hunch is it's a Victoria, very traditional old one, because I think it's been here quite a few years. I'm just prepping the autumn garlic, and I've found a place now for them to be planted. These are the ones I've been waiting for from the Isle of Wight garlic company, and this is Maddock White, which did really well for me, so I've just been sitting here splitting them into cloves. And this is Rhapsody White in this bag. Look, lovely sized bulbs, and this does well on our allotment. So I've been trialling a lots of different garlic, and certainly the Maddock White and this Rhapsody White have done well, so I'm going to put these in. And then I've got a couple of trial garlics as well that I'm going to put in. So I'll split them up. I've got 2 boxes, and the rubbish goes into my bucket. My large cloves will go into this bin in this box, and the smaller ones in this box, and I'll prioritise planting the larger ones first. I'm a bit behind with my garlic. I usually like to plant it in September, but this year's all been a bit crazy. Life's all been a bit crazy, so it is late, and sometimes that's just how it is. So I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm just going to get these ready and pop them in. So there's often a lot of this kind of papery leafy stuff that you need to peel off, and then be really careful, but then put your fingers in and break off the cloves, and be careful because not to damage the base plates, the bottoms of the garlic. So that's the bottom, and you plant it like that, and this is the top. So you go all the way around, taking off the papery stuff, but obviously not the papery stuff that actually covers the clove. I know that some people actually do that. I've never done it. I've always planted it with the clove, the protection on the clove. But if you want to experiment on that, or if it comes off accidentally, like I think it may have done, no, sometimes when you're peeling it, it does come off accidentally. So just be really careful. Take off the excess papery bits. So sometimes, as you can see, it comes off when you're peeling them off. That's not going to hurt it, that's fine, so don't worry. But obviously the least damage you do to the garlic cloves, the better. So I'm now planting the garlic, and the first lot that I'll put in will be some, what's this one? Maddock White, and I'll put those in first, and these are the bigger cloves, and I just use a dibber to make the holes. So I'll go along and do that every 4 to 6 inches, and then making sure it's the right way around. That the base plate, that's, I don't know if you can see that, that's the bottom, and the pointy bit is the top. So popping that into the soil, and I plant mine a good inch down under the soil, because you can see I put the onions there and the birds come along and pull them out because they think they're worms. So I like to also plant my onions just a little bit below ground, and my garlic at least an inch underground. Can even be a bit more than that. It won't do them any harm. So I'm going to go along the row, dip my holes and put the garlic cloves in, and my aim is to do two rows of garlic at least today. So the second lot of garlic I popped in was Rhapsody White, again from the garlic farm, and I used to know this as early purple, right? So I've been growing this on the allotment for a few years, and it's always done quite well. It's also to do with how cold the weather is and if we get a good frost to split the bulbs. But on the whole, it does well, so I do carry on growing this as a mainstay for our plot. It's been a lovely autumn day, and I planted my garlic and onions. I didn't get as far as the broad beans and the field beans because I did a big mulch of our gooseberries, and I am completely cream crackered. Getting it from the wood chip pile, wheeling it up and putting it on. Oh, I'm knackered now. So I think that's a job for Saturday. I'm pleased with what I've done so far, but I always look to planting my autumn garlic and onions and broad beans as the start of the new season. And if you've had a bad year, if you thought, oh well, I didn't do very well with this vegetable or that vegetable, and this went to seed and that went to seed, whether you're a beginner or more experienced, you're not alone, because even the most experienced gardeners, even farmers, have said what a really difficult year it's been. So don't give up, and don't be perturbed. Have confidence and start again. Next season, it's all another game. But it's the challenges that we enjoy in gardening. So don't think it's you if you've not had a good growing year and it's maybe one of your first times growing. We've all had a very, very tough year this year. So dust yourself off, get the seed packets out and start again next year. So wherever you are, I hope you've enjoyed today. Happy gardening and planning, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.